Even nature is getting into the spirit.
Yeah, you know, and I think one more bright day, probably the brightest day we're going to have the next 7 is tomorrow. A little more cloud cover than we want for the weekend here, but a little warmer too. Let's talk how this can all play out. We got a big storm system across the northeast. That's supplying the winter-like cold for us, okay? The Pacific storm you talked about earlier, that's going to provide the warmth eventually. They kind of interact with each other and eventually squeezes out some cloud cover here, more than you probably want for Saturday and Sunday. And eventually we start to slowly get some of that Pacific warmth, but it's going to be a slow warm-up. I want to stress that. Right now, a little bit of cloud cover riding right along the central Indiana corridor here, and that will keep the temperatures from dropping much the next few hours. However, I think that cloud deck starts to pull out by the time tomorrow morning wraps up, and then we'll see these temperatures falling into the lower 20s in some locations. 26 Marion, we got 25 in Richmond, 27 here in Indy, and still holding on at 29 degrees in Terre Haute. So officially here in Indianapolis, a west-northwest wind at 8. Putting the wind chill temperature in the teens. So that will be the story tomorrow morning. Average highs 40. We hit 37 today. We're expecting to go above normal a little bit as we go into Saturday and Sunday. Let's talk about some hometown highs here, especially across northern Indiana. We're going 22 in Wabash and Fowler at 23, Marion 23. A little closer to the metro. I think the city's going to be closer to about 24 it looks like, but suburbs away from the urban heat island probably going to be in the low 20s tomorrow morning. Any way you slice, it's going to be a pretty chilly start for you here from Terre Haute over toward Richmond. Looks pretty chilly too, probably talking low to mid 20s. So a chilly start tomorrow morning. We'll have to make up for that. And what we're expecting as we go through the overnight, that cloud deck starts to move out, wake up to some sunshine tomorrow morning, but a chilly start as it should be for middle December. Future track 13 going into the afternoon looks pretty good. Highs get into the lower 40s it looks like. So overall, not a bad day tomorrow. After the chilly start, we'll get into a cool midday, mid-30s, and then we'll squeeze out about 41, 42 for your daytime high on Friday. The clouds start to return, as I was talking about, and proof of that on Future Track 13. This is Saturday morning at 7 a.m. Going to be hard-pressed, I think, to get to the mid-40s because of the cloud deck. As we go into the second half of the weekend, may get enough southwest wind here to at least get a little bit of sneaks of sunshine heading into Sunday. We're not expecting precipitation, but cloud cover probably wins the war in the sky Saturday and Sunday, but a little bit warmer for the second half of the weekend. We'll push about 50 degrees for a daytime high on Sunday, and right now it looks dry. If you're going to be tailgating out at Lucas Oil Stadium, we'll be in the middle 40s. Rain returning heading into early next week. Monday and Tuesday look a little bit wet, and then we're back down to the mid-30s later next week.